Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis Cocker, and with me tonight, as always, my good friend and co-host Stu Woolley will join us for a 90-minute session of Tactical Devils. We will do some transfer updates, and one of the most, latest links is Man United are linked to Moise Kean, and Man United apparently are willing to pay a release clause of 43.5 million pounds to sign 25-year-old Moise Kean this summer, and he scored 25 goals in 44 games this season. And he has a release clause. It's 52 million euros to be exact. And it becomes active from July 1st to July 15th. And we will break down Moise Kean and check out his heat map, check out his stats, find out if he suits this Amorim system. But there's more. There's more. Alvaro Carreras going to Real Madrid, getting closer and closer. More money in the bin for Man United. Rashford, Barcelona. It's a lot of talks, liking of Instagram tweets, and he likes to play with Jamal. So I don't know what to say about that. Anthony, new links on Real Betis, and Mbeumo price tag is set. Richard Ríos, remember that guy? We talked about him Thursday. More links, getting stronger. This Ralf Rangnick has been talking about Man United. Garnacho on Instagram in a Villa shirt. Pogba to Monaco. Mason Mount. A lot of updates. Guys, stay tuned. We will be back after the intro. While you wait, smash the like, subscribe, and we will be back and break down all the latest news. So see you in a second. Where is it? There. Yes, and good evening. It's Sunday night. Stu and Jarvis is back on the Tactical Devils. A lot of news, a lot of updates, things has happening this weekend. So, Stu, how you doing, my friend? You look a little tired.
I'm dying a slow death tonight. We had our first pre-season session, and it's fucking killed me. Absolutely killed me. And it's quite warm still over in the UK. We need a bit of rain, and we didn't rain until we're out in the bay. You know, it's really hot even tonight, and it's just drained me. So I'm looking a bit dishevelled. I'm feeling dishevelled. But always great to see you, my old mate, and everyone in the Devilish Tacticos, of course. Smash that like, subscribe, because we are elevating ourselves quite nicely. YouTube's starting to push us a bit more, which is great. And we are getting out to other people who've not really experienced the Stu and Jarvis show and what we do on this channel. So it'd be brilliant if you could do that for us, guys.
Yes.
Oh, of course. I did post or send Jarvis some really interesting news earlier. So at some point today, there will be the Daily Jackson. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Yes.
Daily Jackson.
The 4-minute wonder that is the Daily Jackson.
Mr. Red Card himself.
Mr. Red Card himself, the Daily Clown.
The Daily Clown,
Yeah,
yeah. I just want to say hi to all the people tuning in. I see a lot of people in already. Stephanie Griffith, one of our chief moderators, coming in and saying, good evening, Jarvis and Stu and the Devilish Tacticos. Good to see you, Stephanie.
Yes.
We have Bernard Okutu coming in, say, guys, I'm waiting for you patiently. Thank you.
Thank you,
for your
Bernard.
patience. Thank you for your
Yes.
patience. We have Mark N, MUFC fan, coming in and say this guy is an eye test nightmare. After doing research, he probably would not score even 10 goals in the Premier League season. He's a bit unorthodox as a prolific as Xerxes. The issue is he shit in the issue? He's shit in the air. Okay.
He's rubbish in the air. Yeah.
We will see. We will see, Mark. We will do the breakdown. But thank you for providing us with some updates on Moise Kean. Jale Malmin coming in. He says he looked like a poacher. Big up, Jale. Good to see you. I am Titanium coming in. I'm not keen on him. Well, I don't think we are overly excited by Moise Kean, but I will keep an open mind until we have done the breakdown. Whoops, one of our moderators coming in and say, big up, Devils, Ghana out. Yes.
Wow.
There's been some pictures, Instagram pictures. Why don't they just remove the social media from the young players? They obviously they can't handle it.
No, they can't. No. The sooner they get rid of social media for footballers, the better. Be a lot easier.
Yeah. I agree. Cross United coming in. Good evening, fellas. Good evening, Cross United. Good to see you. Ahmad is free from 10 Haram coming in and say, I would much rather have Lukman over Moise Kean. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We have a release clause. We are talking about 52 million euros. That's
steep.
I think it's within the budget. So maybe we will go for the budget solution, but time will tell. And we have Broderick coming in. Big up, Broderick. Good to see you. A lot of people tuning in already. 52 people watching right now. Smash the like. Get the likes up early. We need all the help we can get because, it's just Stu and I fighting against all the other big YouTube channels.
Yes.
So you are the only way out to help us, So
yes.
Thank you, everybody. Let's just go into the first part of the show and talk about Moise Kean. I think where is it? Did I have? Yeah, we can just bring it up here. Give me 2 seconds, Stu. I know you're knackered, but you got to bear with me. The preseason training isn't easy. I know.
Oh, it's a nightmare at my age. Absolutely nightmare. I had to do some running. I can't believe it.
You can run on pure will. You don't need any fitness.
You do. You just close your eyes and away you go.
Mm-hmm. So it's football talk saying Man United are back in the race for Moise Kean. His 52 million euro release clause becomes active from 1st of July to 15th of July. There's some Saudi clubs, Al Qadshia coming in. Have already offered a 97 million euro package. But the release clause is 52 million and it sets into effect the 1st of July. So we talked about 45 million over 3 years. It's from Gulia Pep. I don't know what that source is, but it's more than 100k subs on X, for example. So what do you know about this guy, Moise Kean? You're shaking your head in disbelief, Stu.
Well, I am, because who on the fucking planet would offer Moise Kean a $97 million euro sterling package? I mean, for fuck's sake, what are these people growing in their back garden? What kind of plants and are being lined up, ready to smoke? I am seriously worried about the level of reporting right now. I mean, I always find it really, really funny when these names get linked, or we get linked with names. I mean, there are certain things that you would avoid, and there are certain things that, well, geez, if I'm going to scrape the barrel, I might as well go with Mitrovic, because we're guaranteed 15 goals out of him, which you are. We all know you're guaranteed 15 goals out of Mitrovic, but we don't like him. The thing that bothers me about this particular where we are right now, I mean, Tottenham have done, Forest have done some great business, haven't they? In that Jesus, or that Jesus, who's going to be their number one striker. I mean, he's absolutely top drawer in his work rate. He's a good finisher, but his work rate in and around, he becomes a single man forward line.
Mm.
Moise Kean was dreadful at best at Everton. I know he was young then, but he was dreadful at best. And everywhere he's gone, he's not really developed into what I would call a 52 million euro striker. And this is the problem with football. Oh, well, you know, we're going to sign you, but hey, you got an escape clause or a release clause of 52 million euros. Jesus Christ. Is, you know, whatever he was given for that particular clause insertion in terms of financial benefit to him is astonishing. I would imagine his agents were just laughing their heads off. It reminds me years and years and years ago, this does of a contract that Seth Johnson did with Leeds. He wanted something like 15 grand a week he was going to ask for, and Leeds offered him 40 grand straight out the bat. And his agent, like, fucking hell, wow, we'll go for more. If you're going to start at 40, we want 60. This is a real problem with the credibility of journalists. And these accounts on X have got to seriously start looking at what they're reporting and the rubbish they're chucking out. And there are people out there who will believe it. And that's fine. But we've spoken about, you know, credible sources in the past. And Jarvis, we know, and the devilish tacticos will tell you that the credibility of sources and journalists is just absolutely decreasing at an alarming rate. There's only less than a handful out there that you could really trust. So, you know, people are looking around. We can't talk about Gyökeres anymore. We can't talk about Mbeumo anymore. We're fed up with talking about them. Although I think the Mbeumo deal's done anyway, and it's just a case of getting past July the 1st. You know, we can't talk about Osman anymore. We can't talk about X. We can't talk about Y. Somebody said Volps has probably come out with the most sensible comment tonight, and that's we'll probably get Duran on loan because John Duran's having a tough time, isn't he, in Saudi Arabia? Or, you know, we'll be relinked with Ronaldo. Ronaldo will come back at 41 or 40, you know, however old he is. Look, I just can't take anything like that seriously. I really can't. It's, you know, Vlahovic. Yes, 3 years ago we'd have taken Vlahovic, and I think he'll go and he'll get a position, you know, somewhere else. Lautaro Martinez, you probably have him at Inter Milan. I don't know if anyone saw his goal in the World Club Cup the other night, but it was a brilliant piece of improvisation, a lovely overhead kick in the box. You want somebody who isn't going to just fit the Amarin system, but can fit also outside the Amarin system. You want somebody you can push up top and say, listen, mate, a Mateta type. We need, before you're all going on me, I'm not talking about Mateta here. What I'm talking about, his type of strengths is hold-up play outside the box, as opposed to we need somebody like Cavani's instinct inside the box. If you can get a player who, you know, merges a Cavani and a Mateta, you're in business. Absolute business. You've got everything that you need. This guy certainly doesn't do it. So, look, I just can't cope with it. It isn't for me. I don't buy it. You know, to me, it's just.
Okay. I agree with you, Stu, and you know we can talk about the how valid this link is, and I believe the same as you. You know, maybe it's just paper talk, but anyway.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before you go into and let me ask the devilish tacticos this then. Before you go into looking at Kean from a tactical point of view.
Yep.
If you are looking at a release cost of $52 million, £52 million,
45 million pounds.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, say 52. Well, what is the difference really, apart from, you know, why wouldn't you slap 70 million euros out on a proven striker like Gyökeres? You know, there just isn't enough in it to not worry when you're anything over 50 million euros. It doesn't matter. You're in that ballpark. So to me, it's a ridiculous option, and I just can't get on board with it, pal.
Good evening, Tom Porter, and Silverback Gamer One Beast. Big up, big up. Good to see you guys. Love the name. Love the name.
I love that name. That's brilliant.
No, but let's just look at the guy. I'm keeping an open mind. I want to give him a chance, and he's 25 years of age, 114 days. He's Italian. Plays for Fiorentina. Right-footed forward. 5'11.5", 170 pounds. He's on 54K a week euros. That's and his contract expires 2029. Last season, he scored 17 goals in Serie A for a Fiorentina team that came in 6th in the Serie A. And he scored 3 in the Conference League in 9. His non-penalty XG is 17.9 or 19.4 with penalties. So he actually underperformed his XG. And when you look at his stats, successful take-ons. He's a dribbler. He's good with the ball in his feet. Mediocre in carries, 64%. Clearances, interceptions, aerial ones. He's okay for being a striker when it comes to defensive work. So nothing here impresses me that much. But when you see similar players, you see Erling Haaland, Lewandowski. Yeah, but it's about stats. You can laugh, Stu, but that's just the way it is.
Patrick Schick. I mean, you'd take Schick over him all day long, wouldn't you? Sesko's in there, I can see. Vlahovic is in there. You just don't know. Sorloth, your mate Sorloth. Wouldn't you rather take Sorloth?
Yeah, I rate Sorloth. I think Sorloth is an excellent striker in the box. He has limitations. He's very static, but for a Man United team, if we have the right players around him, I think he could work. And I would also say, from a tactical point of view, I think at the current moment we need more runners. And Sorloth is not a runner.
The thing for me, Jarvis, is when you are buying the 2 types of 10s that we're looking at, which you've already bought Cunha, and we're obviously getting a Mbeumo. You've got to have someone deadly in that box to finish what they've started. Same with Bruno. Same with Mainoo when he comes on. Same with Zirkzee when he delivers. You've got to have a finisher, a proper finisher. You have to have somebody who's gonna do it. Now, for me, Osimhen was the one. He's going to finish more chances, I believe, than Gyökeres, way more than Moise Kean. Even more than Watkins. Watkins would be decent in this system, but I just. It's come out of nowhere to me. I just don't buy it. It's one of those I can't buy. I can't get my head around it. I can't. I could be proven wrong. It could come and score 30 goals next season. Fair enough. Then, hey, clip me up. I don't care. Go ahead.
He's 25. He's becoming to slowly getting into his prime. Things are starting to look better for him. When you look at his stats, he played for Verona when he came up. He was 18, 19 years old. He scored four goals in the first 19 games in the Serie A. After that, he went to PSG, scored 13 in 26 in the 2021 season. Then he came to Everton on loan. It didn't go well. He only scored 2 goals in how many games? 29 games or something. And he didn't do well in a struggling Juventus, only scoring 5 and 6 goals in 3 seasons playing for Juventus. But everything seemed to click when it came to Fiorentina, and now he has scored 19 goals in Serie A in 32 games. So when it comes to being a striker, it's a lot about confidence. I wanna share this one. We can have a look at his heat map, so we know what we are talking about. So you see here, Stu, I compared him to Victor Gyökeres, a striker we've been linked to heavily. and Gyökeres is on the right, and Moise Kean is on the left. And you see it's a little bit all over the place. I just want to check. It's Serie A, yes, it's a Serie A heat map. It's not very dominant, but it likes to be. I see a lot of red in the left inner left channel, and a little bit in the right channel, but mostly in front of goal. And I think that's what we need: a striker who can occupy the space in front of goal inside the 18-yard box.
Biggest concern on that, Jarvis?
Yep.
His work rate. His work rate looks abysmal. There's not enough deep heat in there. Other massage creams are available for footballers. Deep heat being a phrase, not a product. There's not enough work rate in there for me. Gyökeres, you see where he's red. He's there. He's constant. He's moving. To me, Kean, he looks like he's jogging around for most of it, to be honest. There's not enough, nowhere near enough in the penalty area for me. Nowhere near enough across the 18-yard box as a whole. That's Højlund territory, that is, pal.
Yeah.
But I think Højlund probably works slightly harder.
Let's just compare him to Højlund. I want to see Højlund here, just to.
I don't think we looked at Højlund's heat map, have we?
We have, but so this is Højlund's heat map, and you see he occupies the more central area, so it's better than Højlund compared with the heat maps.
But look at it from a striker's point of view. It's just there's not enough in there. There's not enough hold-up play. There's not enough on both. There's not enough hold-up play. There's not enough vision. There's not enough determination. Not for me.
Okay. Jungle United UTFR saying I really like him, and also
there will be people.
Must say Bednars comes in and say he's a physical player, and that's exactly what we need. So it's not all doom and gloom. Some of the devilish tacticos rate him, and others don't. So I think we are a little bit torn about this guy. I also made a let's see. Give me 2 seconds. I made. Where is it? Made a poll. Oh, it's the poll gone away. So, if any of you can just tell me the numbers of the poll, because I don't get it on my phone right now. Okay, yeah, there it is. Is Moise Kean the right player for Man United? Is the player we should go for? And 35% of you says yes. 33% says only if the price is right, and 33% says no. So we can definitely say that we are torn.
Football, though, isn't it, Jarvis? The best part of football, though, is we can all see and view a player completely differently. And I like the fact that Machej, pal, if I've butchered your name, I'm so sorry, mate.
Masej Bednars.
I like that he likes him, and it's good. And the same with the other chap. I like that they like him, because there are different pairs of eyes that look at different players and think, you know what, I like him. I like that. I was watching you the other night on, I think you were with Nuruddin. You were talking about goalkeepers, and you made a point that I like Sells. And I do. I like Sells. Not everybody likes him, but I like him. I like what he does, and I think he'd be a brilliant keeper for us. But he's only had one great season, or good season. He did tail off towards the end of it, so there are differing views, and we should always have differing views in football. But I do like that Moise Kean's got some support in here, because maybe it'll make me change my mind. So I need to have a proper look at.
As I said, I will just try to keep an open mind. Instinctively, right away, I was negative, but try to clear my mind and just look at the stats. Jarvis, ideally, you need to compare Moise Kean with Sir Nicholas Jackson before you make any informed decision. Yes.
Well, I sent Jarvis some disappointing news earlier. He came back. There was a crying emoji. He was so upset, so disappointed.
Yeah. Well, maybe he will be up for sale right now if he keeps getting red cards all the time.
Yes.
and Cross United comes in with a good comment. He says Serie A is a very chess just like as for Gyökeres, his agent and his antics with Sporting is worrying me, to be honest. And if we land him, we might be sweet and roses while he's happy. And that's the thing. You never know.
Great
The player
point, Cross. Great
looks
point.
a little erratic in my mind, very shaky, and comes out with all of this and talking to agents.
Good points.
Yeah.
I think it would be a gamble. It's talking about Moise Kean would be a gamble. Absolutely, we agree.
But questions too.
Yeah,
The Portuguese league for the best team, Sporting, you score
Yes.
like 50 goals.
yeah,
And if you score almost 20 goals or more than 20 when you compare other competitions, I think it was 25 last season for a Fiorentina that came in sixth in the Serie A. Serie A is not a high scoring league. It's very
Yes.
defensive. So his numbers looks really good.
I'll be interested to know though which teams he
Serie A
scored.
is higher than the Portuguese league in my mind. I rate it
Yeah,
higher.
yeah. I'll be interested to know which teams he scored against. Whether or not we're talking top 6 teams or top half teams, or we're speaking about lower. But, it doesn't really matter though, Jarvis. You're absolutely right. It's not a high scoring league, is it? They don't concede many goals, these teams. They're 1-2-0, 3-1, 2-1. But if you're scoring against lower league, the lower side of it, i.e., if Harry Kane was at Tottenham and he scored 6 against Manchester United last season, it's no big fucking deal, is it? Let's be honest. I mean, fucking hell. Our Grams, bless her, mine's not a lie. She could have popped 6 in against Manchester United. But if Harry Kane comes up and he scores 6 against Liverpool, you're thinking, okay, we'll take this guy seriously because they're good. So that's how I would judge it on that one. Talking about Harry Kane again. I mean, Jesus, Peter Pan, isn't he? He scored again, a wonderful goal. I've not been watching the World Club Cup, but if you YouTube, there's all the highlights of the games, and Harry Kane again scored a fantastic strike for Bayern Munich. So, we've got to look at that. There are options out there, surely, that maybe would offer us a better chance of scoring or getting a striker that can score 15 to 20 goals. And I go back to Mitrovic. Nobody would want Mitrovic in our team. I wouldn't. Jarvis wouldn't. Devilish Tacticos wouldn't. But he'd probably net us 15. And it's more goals than what Højlund scored.
And I would even take the Genk striker we looked at the other day. What's his name?
Yeah, I mean 6'6"
something.
He to
like
me
a
very
massive specimen.
Yeah. But again, somebody else made a point. Why wouldn't you try and snare Jonathan David for free?
Yeah,
instead
I saw
of
that
paying
comment.
52 million, which is again is a great comment. Instead of shelling out 52 million on a release clause.
I believe that Jonathan David is on our list, but he's like option D.
Also, Jarvis, don't forget about release clause in it. We've got to stick 52 million euros in escrow.
Yeah.
Unless we can negotiate with Fiorentina, like we did with Wolves and Cunha. But I believe them on that one. Cunha said to Wolves, "I'm going. Don't make it difficult. I'm going. Get that deal done." And so it'd be really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. But I think next week's pivotal. Jarvis, is July the 1st, the week after next, and I think you're going to see a lot of business done by a lot of clubs next week and unveilings the first week in July. When do we go on tour?
15th.
Well, the lads are back. A lot of the lads will be back on pre-season and the 1st of July as well.
Paul Heaney is not happy. Thinks we're making things up. Okay. Well, we just talked about Moise Kean. We have both said that we don't believe the verifications of this.
Yeah, I don't know when you tuned in, Paul, but if you go back to the start of the stream, I ripped it to pieces.
Yeah, and we just talked about the latest. We're just reporting the weather. That's just the way it is. So, and we broke down everything about him and how we would rate him. And I see 33% of you wants him, and 33 is on the fence, and 33 say no. So
that's
we are
really interesting. We've never had that before, pal. No, so that is a clean sweep of yes, no. Now that is really interesting. Maybe we should look at him a bit deeper.
we will see if the rumors get stronger, if there's more link, if this gets more momentum, we will do more on Moise Kean. So let's just end that subject, go on to the next one, and it's about Anthony. Anthony is set on Man United, no, on Betis, and the link is as follows. Anthony has told Man United that his priority is Real Betis, and he wants the move there. It's from Mundo de Deportivo. So, I think the problem with this is we will get less money than we expected for Anthony, because Real Betis is not a strong club when it comes to finances. I think they will struggle. We shared the other day, I will say like a week ago, that they had proposed a 15 million euro deal, up to 20 with add-ons and a hefty sell-on clause. So this is what we're looking at. So probably we won't get any money for Anthony, at least money to spend, not much to talk about. And we will most likely take a financial hit on him when it comes to PSR. But you think it's the right move from Anthony, just forcing his way to stay at Betis? He did this when it came to Ajax and United wanted him. He went on strike. So I think he's not easily persuaded to go elsewhere.
Yeah, you've got, this is the modern day football, isn't it? Modern day football is all about players getting what they want or chucking their toys at the pro. Look, I think Anthony and Betis are a match made in heaven. He's proven it. He wants to go back there. I like the fact that he wants to go back there, but he's also got to understand that Manchester United, of a club, have got to arrange a deal with Betis that will enable him to go back there. It's not just the fact that, I want to go back. It's got to be, good for all parties, and it has to be great and good for Manchester United. And if the deal doesn't stack up, but yet Inter Milan come in with a 40 or 50 million bid, then you go to Inter Milan, pal. Simple as that. We can't allow players. The Cunha one at Wolves is probably a bit different. When he signed his contract last year, it was probably on the provision that if Manchester United or somebody comes in, you let me go at 62 mil. Something along those lines, but with Anthony, no, they're going to have to pay the deal. They can pay 05 for 4 years, can't they? I'm sure they can afford 10 million a year, a season, to get us to 40 mil. And I think you've got to do it. I think Paul's right. You sell him at 40 million quid. The end. But I like the fact that he's willing to take his pay cut. He's already said. He's on 160 grand a week with us, and he'll take a 30% pay drop. He said to go to Real Betis, so he's doing his side of it. But it's up to Betis to put the finances in place, and that's what they're going to have to do. So I think it's a good move for him. I think he knows, and he's very, very sensible, is Anthony. I think it's a question of actually of him wanting to play football. Really, I think he wants to get back in the Brazilian squad, and I think he knows. At Betis,
is that a reason, do you think, just to be a part of the Brazilian 100%. Squad in the World Cup?
Yeah, I do think so. I really, really think so. It's a pivotal season for him. Yeah. You would say we did once say that about Sancho and Rashford, but they've killed their careers so much at the moment. It's not pivotal for them getting back into playing the World Cup. I've got a hope in hell. I know Rashford's been in and out Tuchel's squads and that, but it's not right. But I actually believe that Anthony is really looking at it, wanting to play for Brazil. But I think undoubtedly and undeniably, the kid wants to play football. If you come out and say, I'll take a 30% cut, they're so greedy players. I think he wants to play football. So I'm really kind of like that. I'm really quite impressed with his character. But then you go to Betis, you say, look, this is what I'm prepared to do for you, but you've got to give Manchester United something. You've got to meet Manchester United somewhere. And if it's going to cost you 10 million euros a season, it's going to cost you 10 million euros a season.
15 million euros and 5 in add-ons plus a sell-on clause. Is that enough? Or should we just...
No, not 15. No, not 15. We've got to take 40 mil. We have to take 40 mil. Yeah, I agree with Paul. It's got to be 40 million. It has to be. We can't dick
But then
about.
he's not going to Real Betis. They don't have the financial muscles when it comes to this.
But surely they can afford 10 mil over 4 seasons, 10 mil a season, surely. They've just earned, what, didn't they get through to the Europa Conference League final? What was that worth to them? 40 million euros? Something along those lines. They did okay in
so do you think Real Betis is just playing us?
I think they're trying to dick us about, yeah.
Okay.
But look, negotiation, a lot of negotiation is too. If you go and buy a house and you see it at 500 grand, you're not going to want to pay 500 grand. If you can afford to pay 500 grand, you're going to go in at 410. They're going to laugh at you and tell you to piss off, but you hope you'll meet them before 4-5. Something along those lines. This is what you want to do. So I do like what Anthony's done. We've all got to admit, he looked so much happier, didn't he, at Betis, Anthony?
He did. Yeah.
He looked so much happier 100%. As a person. And I think, he's seen his mate Cunha. They're very, very close then to Cunha. And he's, but Anthony's not daft. He knows if he comes back to Manchester United, he's not going to the World Cup in 26.
But this is a good point. He has reduced his wages by 30%.
He made the offer. He made that offer. Yeah. So he's not going to the World Cup in 26 as it stands right now, Anthony. So if I was him, any footballer worth his salt wants to go to the World Cup, don't they? Want to play for the country. I do like the guy. I like that he wants to do this. And I would hope that Manchester United and Betis can come to an agreement. But, Jarvis, so let's be clear. If Juventus come in, Napoli comes in, anyone comes in with 40, 50 on the table, United will accept it.
Yeah, but if it's set on Betis, people just refuse. And I think that's where the issue lies. He said so today. That's the news.
Because we've allowed players to do that. People have allowed, clubs have allowed players to turn around and say no. It didn't happen in the 90s, mate. So we sold you. We've accepted the bid. You're going. See you.
But as I said, I'm a little bit worried because I think he's a
Como. Yeah, Rusmano's right. Como put 40 mil on the table for him, didn't they? Yeah. He's right. I forgot about that.
So again, the players are effing us over and doing as they want to, not for the better of the club. And that's.
But modern day football has allowed that to happen. It's allowed players to turn around and start crying when it doesn't go their way.
Yeah. A lot of good comments. Sorry, I haven't read any of them out.
Yes.
A lot of legends tuning in. A lot of good comments. So, but Rashmano, thank you for the updates. And you are right. I think Anthony's going to be a tough one. And I think we just got to, at the end, we will have to just sell him to Real Betis because that's where he wants to go. Let's just try to get as much money as possible from the Betis.
I think it ends up that way. And I think we get what we want.
Yeah. You mentioned Rashford when we talked about this. So there are some updates about Rashford now, and he came out. I think it was yesterday in an interview, and he said this. Of course, I would love to play with Lamine Yamal. Everyone wants to play with the best, and hopefully we'll see. He's keeping the Barcelona links open, and he also liked some tweets or Instagrams on with Barcelona. So, do you think he's chasing something that's not there? You think he's delusional, want to go to Barca, or is it a chance in hell that he will end up there at the end of the summer transfer window?
I'm a little bit torn with this one, in as much as you actually putting yourself out there and and openly trying to seduce Barcelona with words. Is there something going on in the background where he's come out and he's made that play because he thinks he can get a move, or there's been initial discussions and he's not had the door shut to him, which means that he can start talking about it without talking about it, if that makes sense. But coming out and saying that everyone wants to, play with Lamine Yamal, do they really? Well, I mean, what's the pull in playing with Lamine Yamal? the pull is Barcelona, surely, not just a player. Real Madrid, Ronaldo went to Real Madrid for the pull of Real Madrid. And that's what Ronaldinho went to Barcelona for the pull of Barcelona. You don't go for the pull of a player. And somebody said, right, Barcelona trying to get Nico Williams. And I think they're friends, aren't they? Lamar and Williams.
They are. Apparently they are. And Wolps also comes in with a comment. He said Rashford has had poor advice all his life, and he believes the hype. Maybe he's just deluded.
Well, it's clear there's clearly something going wrong in his brain. There's something that he's not wired right at this point in time. Absolutely, and but is Barcelona delusional? I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold goes to Real Madrid because he thinks it's the pinnacle of his career. He was woeful the other day. They were struggling tonight as well, weren't they? Madrid to break down whoever. But if he's there, if he's got a chance to go to Barcelona, and Barcelona are stupid enough to give us 50 million euros, yeah, go ahead, take it. I would. But again, can they register him? What's the financial situation there? So I don't know.
Well, as Rashmanos said, we are Dzeko. I think is he the sporting director?
Yeah, he's the sporting director.
Dzeko. The guy who played for Chelsea and Porto in
played for Barcelona as well.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, we will see. But I feel that Marcus Rashford is waffling at the moment. He's trying his best, try to force a move. And as Mick Ruby is in the house, he comes in and say his wages is a problem. Both him and Sancho clubs don't trust. Yeah, he's on 350 a week. So
yeah, I mean Sancho's driven himself into the darkest, deepest footballing hole ever. He's not willing to reduce his wages. He could have got a move, could have stayed at Chelsea, and maybe kicked on. But why? He didn't. So we shall see on that one. We shall see. I think they're both problems, and they've both got to go. So we need to do everything we can to get them out, even if we take less money for them. Just fuck off.
Big up, Honshu 11. Good to see you coming in and say Moise Kean is the one. I'm surprised it's still real ones out there like you. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We just reporting the news, the latest news, and I don't believe the Moise Kean rumors, but we will see. Maybe it will gain more traction in the next
over the coming days. Yeah, coming days.
But, compared with the stats, if you go back to the beginning of the show, I think he looks decent, and I think he can do a job for us. Definitely, a lot of goals. Wolves, they're all living in a dream of millions of kids out there, and they're abusing the privilege of being a professional football player.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
100%. Keeping it real. Okay, so that's and the Rashford Barcelona Yamal link. He would love. He's been dreaming of playing with.
What's he going to do? Go and hold his hands?
Last 10 years.
He's going to go and hold his hand or something. Honestly, modern day football.
Is he up against what's the winger's name? The guy who came from Leeds, Rafinha.
Rafinha playing very well. Playing very well. Rafinha is very well.
Okay.
He's Barcelona.
So where's Rashford going to play?
Well, he's not, is he?
He's not. Okay. Good one. Want to talk about Mbeumo?
Well, probably not. I mean, I think it's.
I'm sick of the Mbeumo thing.
I think people know. I think ultimately we know. I think he's coming, and I think that's it really. I think we all know he's coming. I'll be amazed if next week Mbeumo is involved for Tottenham. It would be quite comical, but I would be amazed.
Mm-hmm. Wolves say you nailed it. Ban footballers from social media. Yeah, I think that will be probably the best. So this is the breaking Man United exclusive. Breaking Man United are set to pay around 63 million pounds plus add-ons. I don't know how much add-ons. I heard
I'm guessing it'd
rumors
only be
about
5.
5.
Yeah, I'm guessing there'll only be 5. What did we do with Cunha? 62 plus 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, something in that bracket.
I think that's what you're going to get. 63 plus 5.
Yeah. So basically, they said we want more than you pay for Cunha, and Man United caved in at the end. 63. Okay, let's do it.
I would imagine. I'd imagine United went. You want what? You want more for fucking hell? We'll give you $1 million over. Fucking just do the deal.
£1. Wasn't it Wenger who offered like £1
for Luis Suarez? Wasn't it? It was £1 over the whatever the it was, and he said no. Jarvis says the Mbeumo, it's not true. Sorry, Jarvis. Makes sense.
Well, this is not me saying it. It's Rudy Galletti. So to be fair, it's his rumors, not ours.
Yes.
But we will see. We will see. I hope we can land the Mbeumo deal soon. You know, I'm sick of the whole Mbeumo thing. I want him to hold up the shirt and here we go. That's all I want with this player.
I honestly, Jarvis, I think you were right. A couple of days ago, you said you think it'll be July 1st unveiling.
Yeah.
PSR. Somebody mentioned though that our away kit's due to be released. Is it this week or next week? And Mbeumo.
Yeah, the new shirt, the lovely one. Yeah.
Don't forget, we announced Cunha on the
old black one that we used to have in the.
I love that. Yes. Yeah, absolutely stunning.
Black, yellow, and a little bit of blue. Looks really good.
Okay. But half-time is just Love Island. Fucking Jesus.
Love Island.
Wow. I'm not
watching Love Island.
Well, thank you very much for that wonderful compliment. But that is that's funny as fuck. It's like that. I love stuff like that.
I think we need to talk about this one.
Last time you agreed personal terms. When did I sign my last contract work-wise?
Yeah, when you came on Tactical Devils.
I was there. Sorry.
I offered you nothing, and you accepted.
Yeah, Jarvis offered me nothing. I am titanium, and I said to him, "Look, if I don't get a Snickers, there'll be fucking problems." And I wrote back in red pen, "If I don't get a Snickers added to this, I'm not signing." And I put a dot on where the signature was. And now I come back and I get a Snickers a week. I'm titanium. So
yeah, I pay in bananas and Snickers.
Bananas and Snickers. That's what YouTube are paying us at the minute, isn't it? Bananas and Snickers. They're not paying us anything, guys.
Well, at least we're having fun, and at least
we are having a lot of fun. Jarvis wants a new camera. So if you can think of anyone to get us more subscribers, Jarvis wants a new camera, and we both said that when we get our first significant YouTube check, Jarvis can have a brand new camera, didn't we, pal?
8K 256.
Look, he's drooling already. Look at him. Look at him drooling. Look at his face.
Crystal clear, crisp, sharp image. You can see all the pores in my skin and the redness, and
So if you know anyone who can subscribe to us, that's his goal. And he'll come up and say, "Got me new camera. Got me new camera. Do I look any better?" And everyone will go, "No."
Surprise.
Posted a cryptic message about Jarvis. I'll tell you what, I am titanium. You come up with some great questions. I haven't, but has anyone ever posted a cryptic message about Jarvis? I do like that question. It's great. And I according to Mick, you've been holding out on me.
Yes, I am. I'm putting everything into my own pocket.
Oh look! And so I wasn't seeing things.
No.
That's
why I'm sitting here in a regular real shirt, with a watch and studio. I take everything.
Yo, look, I told you I saw a mount at Villa top. Yola Mamoon comes in, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, nice. We can talk about it. Let's just have a hissy fit about Garnacho and look at that picture. This is Garnacho walking with his what car is it? Is that Ferrari?
Ferrari,
Ferrari,
yeah.
and
It looks a cheap Ferrari to me, Lamborghini.
And a Lamborghini, yeah.
It looks one of the cheap Ferraris to me, those.
And he can't put on his short. It's half his ass is hanging out, and he has a Villa shirt with Rashford on the back. So what do you say?
Yeah, I don't quite understand that, and it just goes to show that
he's not very mature, is he?
It's pathetic. I mean, he's a father, for Christ's sake. He's got children, for fuck's sake. But do you know? Obviously, his brother's his agent, isn't it? So he's, I just look. If you want to go to Villa, go to Villa. All right. If you want to go to Napoli, go to Napoli.
But I feel like, why bother? Why don't be an adult? You go to the CAO of the club, you talk to him, you tell him you stand, and say, I want to move, whatever it takes. I'm not staying. I'm not ever playing for Man United again. Take the consequences. Be a man.
It's not even signed, that shit, is it? It's not even signed by Rashford. I can't see a signature on the 9.
It's like cryptic messages all over the place.
It's just stupid. It's just stupid. I mean, it's just. But the problem is, if he doesn't get sold, fans are just going to completely turn against him next season. If there's any fans in the stadium, because we're all been priced out. But that's another story. But
and Wolves, you say you do not wear another Premier League club shirt.
You don't.
No.
Look, even fans don't wear other Premier League club shirts. I mean, and I've told you this story before, gents and ladies, but I've got a Liverpool fucking shirt with my name on it because I had to go to a press event with Falcon Tires, and there's a picture of all the media in Liverpool shirts apart from yours truly. No fucking chance. Not a fucking open hell. You just don't do it. Terrible.
Falcon Tires.
Yeah. Falcon Tires. Yeah. Well, Falcon Tires. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And that picture is taking the piss out of our club and history.
Bruno liked it. Some of the lads are saying. Volps is saying Bruno liked it. Mr. B saying Bruno liked it.
Just get the players off social media right away.
Social media's got to go. Go. Volps is right. He's done. The Vutinator, another freedom fucked. Fuck with. I like that. Jules, great to see you, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Big up, Jules.
Jules, if you want to jump on for 10 or 15 minutes, Jarvis will send you the link. Just drop us a.
Yeah, no problem.
You're more than welcome to come on, pal, if you fancy it. Entirely up to you. Catherine, I love Catherine's comment. She's absolutely brilliant. Catherine is as straight as it goes. She is the arrow through the heart of brilliance. Yes,
cutting through all the bullshit.
She does what? Bang. She is a bullseye every time with her comments. Absolutely brilliant. Ivor Lee, absolutely. That's the ultimate piss take. Garnacho sold himself. I think you're absolutely right. Here's an interesting one from Wizard. Ban loans and transfers, one club players only. Well, Manchester United, I think, are probably the club that have probably had the most one club players, I would imagine, in a period. Jules, you're more than welcome to come on, mate. Just reach out to myself or Jarvis, pal. And,
no problem. Big up.
Listen, it's not just Jules. Any devilish tactico who wants to come on this show and talk to us and talk to everybody, you are more than welcome. We'd love to have you guys come on. Honestly, we've never done a call in, have we, Jarvis? Maybe we should do a call in one night, and you guys can come in and get involved if you want. We
can do a call-in show next week, maybe Thursday, we can do half an hour at the end of the show, or maybe tomorrow night. Let's see. We can talk about it. Bruno liking it would be no surprise. He nearly left the club, so yeah. Did Bruno really like the Instagram?
I don't know. Apparently so, but then again, I'm not really. Not many people ask. Well, you have got an open book to come on. Open book. That's not right. You can come on. We've asked you all. Open invite. All right.
Okay. Wolf says the Bruno thing is real. He screenshot it. Okay.
You and your bloody camera. If you get that 4K camera, your facial expressions are going to pop out. I'd love it if you had a 3D one, Jarvis, and you're able to go like that and pop out the screen when somebody said something you don't like, and then you can come out and roar. Maybe we need to get AI to do that.
Big up, Wolves. If us skippers like his players wearing another team's shirt publicly, what does it say about the team? Because the skipper should be the first to make.
Well, he should have listen. The skipper, right?
Bruno, he's the skipper.
Yeah, should have got hold of Garnacho. Should have texted him or FaceTimed him or whatever. Said, "What the fuck are you doing? Get it down." No, and that's what should happen. It wouldn't. This just doesn't.
He goes out and liking the Instagram is like slap in the face. Double slap in the face.
Big Rich is in, by the way. If any of you aren't subscribed to Red Devil United TV, please go ahead. Rich has really been going great guns recently. He's a small channel like us a few months ago, and now I think he's on the road to 7K. So if you're not subscribed to Rich, go check him out. He does about 3 shows a day, one in the morning, one at lunch, and one in the evening. He's mainly on transfers at the moment, but he's a good bloke. So please like and subscribe to Rich's channel.
Yeah.
But let's get Jarvis onto a 4K camera first, if you don't mind, Rich. 8K. I said 4K. He looked at me. 8K. 4K. He's an 8K one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Big up Rich anyway. Big up Jules. Big up everybody. It's 274 watching a combination of Twitter and X and YouTube. I think we're on. I don't know how many likes we're on at the minute. I'll need to check.
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 Okay. So we have the picture here of Bruno. Wolves sent it to me, so big up. Thank you, Wolves. So here you see it. Tyler Fletcher, Aiden Heaven, Kobe, Mainu, and Bruno Fernandes liking Garnacho 7 on Ibiza, celebrating in a Aston Villa shirt. But maybe we are reading too much into it. Maybe it's just doing it for Rashford. Do you think that's the thing? That's how we should interpret this?
42 likes, Jules. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, Heavens, I don't know. It's not something I would have done if I was the. Ivor Lee says you should get a nick on P1100s.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Wow, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's very strange. So, for me, anyway, Jarvis, it's not something I would do.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about this. It just pisses me off. I think it's so immature that it's not even bothered mentioning.
Yeah, it's got a bit of merit, that is, I think.
Catherine.
She's on the nail again, on the button again. Rich has just come in, Jarvis. How much? Oh, sorry, Rich. How much would Kean cost out of interest?
Yeah. The report says he has a release clause getting into effect 1st of July until 15th of July, and the release clause is £45 million. So he scored 19 goals in Serie A last season. He's 25 years of age, so it is a viable option. If everything, if he can't sign Osimhen, if he can't sign Gyökeres, maybe his plan C is plan D, plan E, something. But he has a release clause, but we have to make up our mind before July 15th.
I think he's plan F, isn't he?
Yep.
Vicky, we're not going to go with Vanny Vicky, whoever Vanny Vicky is. Who will play a striker in Manchester United? Well, we'll do the Daily Jackson a bit later, but it is bad news, I'm afraid, on the Daily Jackson, Vanny. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Jules says, catch 22, the club would ideally have all the players banned from social media. Absolutely. But this would damage our chances of attracting players. Social media is, well, I think everybody has experienced the toxicity of social media at times, and it can be a very, very stupid, childish and immature place on occasions.
Yes.
But, when you want maturity, you come to Tactical Devils. Well,
most mature guys.
A bit of immaturity here, but definitely maturity. A bit of immaturity here.
I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend, and it's Monday tomorrow, but the weather is nice in Britain, and
gorgeous.
It's not too bad in Norway either. It's midsummer tomorrow night. We will burn a big fire and celebrate. So yeah, we're heading into a great week. So guys, smash the like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. 295 people watching, 59 on YouTube as we speak. So get that likes in and try to get more traction on YouTube. That's what we're aiming for. The next topic, it's about a guy we mentioned the other day, Richard Ríos, and this is from Mick Ruby's channel, MUFC Realist TV. He had an exclusive with Alfredo Padula. So if you want to know more about it, you can go to MUFC Realist TV and see the whole interview in Italian with Mick asking the questions. It's a great interview. This came in. Manchester United are showing serious interests in Richard Ríos. This is the one to watch closely. It's from Alfredo Padula and Mick Ruby. We looked at this player the other night, and he looks really technically. He's really good on the ball. I think he's a proper baller. He plays box-to-box midfielder and number 8, but he can do several roles. I think he's kind of versatile. I think he can play more higher up and a little bit more down as the playmaker. So he's 25 years of age. He plays for Palmeiras in Brazil. He's from Colombia, I believe. He has a lot of lovely tattoos, and maybe he's the one we should try to sign. I'm not sure what the price tag is and what we are looking at. Remember, Stu, we talked about.
He'll be expensive, Ríos. I mean, he's a talented, very, very talented footballer, but he's kind of. I mean, look, I've seen Cunha drive from deep. I've seen Cunha drive from an 8 position, pick up the ball as a 6 and drive with it. So, but he looks a special talent, Ríos, because I think he can play an 8 and a 10. Very, very similar to Cunha, very similar to Mbeumo. And if we're looking at getting Ríos in as a Bruno replacement in 1 or 2 years' time, I think it'd be a great move for us. I've got no problem with that. Rich, it was the Sunderland player that tweeted his Lamborghini, Fletcher. I'm sure that's the one, Rich. I'm sure it was Stephen Fletcher that tweeted his Lamborghini after defeat, got absolutely pasted for it and took it down, yeah. And then he came up and said he leased it, he didn't buy it or something along those lines. I'm sure it was Stephen Fletcher on the... Rich, just Google Stephen Fletcher Lamborghini tweet. I'm sure that was it. Or Mercedes. I'm Titanium. The one that Les got tweeted was about his Mercedes. I'm sure the one that Rich is talking about is about Stephen Fletcher and a Lamborghini. But have a look anyway, guys. I think that's what it is. Sorry, Jarvis. There's a bit of a question that Richard asked, and I quite liked it. It was a good question. I like. Have you got his heat map? I would imagine his heat map should be.
I'll try to bring it on, but
yeah,
I don't know enough about him. But who should we compare him to? I need a player to compare him.
I'll go with Bruno. Just see what. Cunha. Try him with Cunha. See how that one.
He's on the opposite side. He's mostly operating on the right side. So. And he's a box to box, but we don't play a 4-3-3, so it's hard for us to compare him with any of our players. And I think that's the main issue. So it's hard to say. But
Ricardo says he's got an affordable market value, apparently. But a high termination clause. Okay.
The only one I can think of could be Mbeumo, but
Yala's not convinced. Oh,
but it's not the same. Mbeumo is not the same. He's more of a winger.
he's talking about McTominay.
So here's the heat map. Richard Ríos is on the left. Mbeumo is on the right. But
No, you could. Yeah, there's no comparison there.
No, but maybe let's try Ugarte. Let's say Ugarte. But it's not it's the same profile.
No,
we
it's not
play
the
with
same
him in
profile.
4-2.
To try Ahmad. No, I don't think it's the same profile as Ahmad.
No,
Is
no.
it?
What can you take from this if you look at his heat map?
He plays the middle third corridor quite
Yeah.
nicely, but he also plays wide right quite nicely. But he plays the middle third corridor, so you're quite right. He is a box to box 8, and but there's one glaring problem for me: nothing in the 18-yard box. So that means he's a playmaker. Period. He's not a goal scorer. He's a playmaker. Or if he does score, he's scoring outside the box. He looks like he's completely right-footed. His dominant foot is right. He crosses from the right, but his main work is within the central corridor on the right side. That's where he's. We don't need him. Looking at that is what I would say.
Yeah,
we don't need him.
But
Ricardo says he's got a Ricardo says he's got a market value for €16 million.
Oh, that's actually quite cheap. Wow.
Look, from what I can see, he's a very, very talented footballer. But I think he's playing, like you say, he's playing the World Club Cup at the minute at Palmeiras, isn't he? So, but I do like him. But that profile of player doesn't fit us. He needs to play, but he does play in central corridor, but more on the right hand side. So that's it.
I know who we can compare him with. I found the guy. So Ander Herrera in the 4-3-3 of Oli
yes.
last season.
Yeah, there you go. Herrera's a bit more.
Then you got a gist of what we can expect.
Yeah, Herrera's a little bit, but no, that's a good heat map. That's perfect because Herrera was brilliant for us. He was absolutely brilliant for us, Herrera.
I just needed to think a little bit and go back to when we played with him.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well, it looks interesting, but Ander Herrera is the guy we never should have.
We should never have got rid of him. Should never have sold him. No, that was criminal. That was.
Yeah, that was a stupid move of Man United again.
Criminal.
Incompetence. And Oli should have had more balls going out and said, "No, I'm not selling him. I'm keeping Ander Herrera. He's my man." But that's just the way it is. We know, but we can talk a little bit about that. I find this interesting because Ralf Rangnick came out with some comments the other day.
I heard this.
Yes, and that was something interesting. So, Center Devils reported that Ralf Rangnick criticizes Man United's leadership, and it's quite potent what came out because he had some comments. So I will just bring it up for you to.
Yeah, I didn't know he'd done that. To be fair.
So this is his 3 comments, his 3 statements. He says, "Who's really making the decisions and why are they making them? ? Are they really the best people for the job? And I can only tell you that at the 6 month I was there, it was difficult to say, even for me as head coach." So again, it tells you a lot about Man United. When the head coach doesn't know who makes the decision, it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a typical. I mean, look, I loved Rangnick. I really did. I don't think he was, and I've always said this, I don't think he was brought in to coach the team. He was brought in to dissect and forensically analyse the club. And he got the boot for it because he was supposed to stay on as a consultant, wasn't he, for 2 years? but they didn't want to hear it. And but everything he said, he was proven to be true. We knew it anyway as fans. But he's a very, very astute guy. I mean, don't forget, he's the one that really built the Red Bull franchise.
Yes.
You know, he's the one that's done that, and he's been superb for Austria, hasn't he, in a coaching capacity. But everything he said, came to fruition. But like I say, I think he was there coaching on it as a secondary basis. They needed and wanted his experience to look at the club, and I don't think they like what they saw.
But it's interesting comments. He's talking about our club, and Jarle says he's talking about the former leadership, though not what's going on now.
Yeah, it's not about now. It's not about
certainty, because it's still Joe Glazers and the Glazer family, still the owners, the majority owners when it comes to voting rights in the board. So I would say you are semi right, Jarle, but I know what you mean. INEOS are big up. I am Titanium. Big up. Thank you for watching. And the other comments is who were the decision makers? Who would I talk to if I wanted to sign new players? It was difficult. There were people, but in the end, it was difficult. Again, criticizing the leadership of the club. And also say this interview comes at a time of expectations within the club. This is because United's 15th place in the Premier League this season. This placement is the worst the Red Devils have finished in the 21st century.
Yeah, so well, again, it is. It's abysmal.
Yeah. But do you think Rangnick is on point?
Oh, I always thought Rangnick was on point, even when he was there and he was making these statements. If you listen to him carefully and looked at his body language, it was a purely frustration all the time, and he couldn't quite work out why people running Manchester United weren't listening to basic football remedies. So he's talking about open heart surgery. He wasn't lying, and that's exactly what Ratcliffe has done. He's come in. He's probably spoken to Rangnick. I know I would if I was Barada or Brailsford or whatever. I'd have sought Rangnick out and said, "Look, can you just tell us exactly what?" And away we go. So it's going to be quite interesting to see where we are in 3 years' time. Absolutely, to see whether or not they've run us into the ground, or we've seen a change in the fortunes of the club. And the problem will be for our fan base, and we all know this, by the way. The Devilish Tacticos know, and all the fans know, that if United start delivering, championships in the next 3 years, then Sir Jim's going to be the grace of all God, isn't he? The grace of all good. Thank you very much, Sir Jim, for saving our club. Look,
yeah.
Stu, knows that he knows. Ratcliffe knows. Joel Glazer knows that if they want top dollar for that club, they've got to perform. And the issue with the LA Lakers just taking it another step forward about sporting franchises. $10 billion for a sporting franchise, basketball franchise. Manchester United were the most valuable football club, and they wanted 10 billion last year. So their expectations are going to grow. And for that expectation to be delivered, we have got to deliver as a football club. It's as simple as that. But the 1.4 billion or 7 billion now that he's put in, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he's going to want to double that.
Yeah,
he's going to want that money back and more. So he's got to get this club cooking. Now, Barada, again, whether people like it or not, with the help of oil money, has built Manchester City into the cheating bastards that they are, or whatever. But he built a colossal club ownership there.
Yeah, but you got to be honest. Barada was no footballing man. He was a finance man, and it was Trixie Bergestein who was the footballing guy, the brain behind City.
He grew the football group. He grew City Football Group. Barada didn't bother with City. He grew City Football Group. So there's pedigree there. Whether we don't like Jim Ratcliffe, we know that. We don't like the Glazers, we hate them. But there's pedigree in their business sense. They just don't know fucking football. But Barada does.
Well, I don't know if you read the article or comment that the Swedish Rumble wrote. I would say an hour ago, hour and a half ago on
Mm.
X. I shared it on my X account. So if you want to read it, you can just go to my account and see the redirect, or you can go to the Swedish Rumble and read all about it. It was a very pessimistic take on the current situation, because he talks about spending and the spending power of Man United. And you know, the interview that Andy Mitten did with Barada the other day, he criticized Andy Mitten for not asking the right questions. He gave him softballs, not hardballs, something to talk about. And you know, when he explained the business model, Omar Barada and Sir Jim Ratcliffe in his interview explained the business model now for Man United is cutting cost and trying to get back that way. We know they have sacked a lot of people, but they don't mention how we fall behind when it comes to the revenue. Now we have clubs like Arsenal, Liverpool are breaking the 700 million mark when it comes to revenue. Man United are in the low 600. We have Manchester City up high 890 million pounds is their revenue. And you know, we can cut cost as much as we like, but our spending power will be less than the other clubs. And when we know football and how the modern game is, look at PSG. Everybody loves the new PSG team, but look at their wage bill. It's miles ahead every other team, and City is in second place.
The
So the
interesting
most
thing, though,
dominant
Jarvis,
teams spend money. And this is the issue with Man United. How are we going to get back without spending money? Because they think the business model is cutting cost, but our revenue is going down compared to the other clubs. When our spending power is 50%, Liverpool is on 60, 66, 67. Arsenal is the same. Manchester City is beyond that. How are we going to get back on lost ground when it comes to the other clubs without spending money? And this is the fault within the business INEOS business model,
well,
because you don't take into account how modern football is, and it's driven by money.
it isn't actually a fault of INEOS. It's a fault of Manchester United
Yeah.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, where we elected to spend millions and millions and millions on lazy footballers and paying all this extortionate wages on lazy footballers instead of buying workmanlike players, and started again 5, 6 years ago. That's what we should have done. We should have gone in and looked at it and thought, right. And I said to you, shop local. I've spoken about shopping local for years, you know, and finally we're doing it with Cunha. And you have to, instead of going to Europe always to buy footballers, you have to get your core players, your core talent from local. And you have to get the players that have been 2, 3, 4 years in the Premier League. That's what Manchester United always did. Van Persie, Arsenal, Rooney, Everton. You know, there are exceptions to the rule. Van Nistelrooy, you know, some of his goals, I mean, Jesus Christ, they were just out of this world. But then we had the gigs, didn't we? The Lee Sharp, Rio Ferdinand's the best centre half at the time, so we went and we got him. Andy Cole, the best striker, we went and we got him. These are all English but Premier League proven players, and we went away from that model, Jarvis, and we fucked about and we fucked about and we fucked about, and we went and we got substandard footballers in, and that is the problem that we've had. By going back to our roots and getting the very best, the likes of Cunha, likes of Mbeumo. You know, people laugh even today about Harry Kane, but he'd come in and do a job for 2-3 years for us for sure, and score us 20 goals a season for sure. But he, you know, people who know the way around the Premier League, that's what you have to do. And City did a mixture, didn't they? They've got like Nori knows the Premier League. You know, all right, they brought in Rangers who doesn't, but they brought in John Stones that did. They brought in Raheem Sterling that did. You know, they brought in Shay Given that did. They brought in players that needed, and it stabilised them. And then once those players were in and they were getting to a certain stage, then you sprinkle it with stardust. That's when you sprinkle it. So,
yeah.
Just 1 sec, old friend. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Well, my point is, okay, we can say that we have signed Cunha, we have signed maybe Mbeumo, and things are looking better. But when you compare ourselves to the other clubs that we want to compete with, at least in the future, like Liverpool, like Arsenal, like Manchester City, Liverpool have signed Frimpong, they signed Gyökeres, Florian Wirtz. They are linked to Guehi. They are linked to Isaac. They are really doing bits. They like trying to build a dynasty now and dominate British football for the next 5 to 10 years. Look at City signing Mamouche, all the January signing window signings, and now all the signings they've did now in the summer. Same with the Arsenal getting linked to both Gyökeres and Šeško, and they just signed the midfielder, the Subamendi. So a lot of the top teams are strengthening really, really well. And
I think they'll strengthen okay.
I'm not even sure if you're gaining any ground by signing Mbeumo and Cunha when you look at it.
I think we're going to have I think we're going to have a much better season for sure. And the thing about football is, guys, and we all know this because we've all experienced it in the past. It only takes Eric Cantona, for example, to be the catalyst. That's all it takes. It takes one player to be the catalyst. I'm not saying Mbeumo is going to be the catalyst. I'm not saying that Cunha is going to be the catalyst, but they're going to add 30 goals between them, probably. More than likely. To Bruno's 11 to 18 that he put in, to the 7 or 8 that Ahmad put in. Højlund will probably add 8 if he stays. Xerxes will add 8 if he stays. What we're doing is adding goals. But we're not adding that top-end striker that is going to guarantee you the 20 goals. And so dicking about with Moise Kean and messing around trying to do the Osimhen deal, if we were ever doing the Osimhen deal, and waiting for Gyökeres who wants to go to Arsenal, all this kind of bullshit's got to stop. The thing about Liverpool is they finished first and have strengthened brilliantly. We don't know whether Florian Wirtz is going to be any good at all. He could be 120 million.
He's a decent football. He's a
good footballer, but he could be 120 million flop for all we know.
Could be a flop, yeah. You never know.
We don't know. We do.
The same goes with Cunha and Mbeumo. So
no. Well, here's my point, and this is my counter to that, Jarvis.
Okay.
But we know that Gyökeres is going to be a find. He is going to be a buy. And we know that Cunha will be fine, and we know that Mbeumo are going to be fine because they know the league. Wirtz is different. Same with Rangers and Turkey, but Nori is going to be okay. You buy local. Isak comes in at Liverpool. We know he's going to be fine. We don't know about. So I don't want us to go. Unless we get somebody like Paulino. I know you want to talk about it. I know we spoke about it the other day. It was a mixed bag, but we know he's going to be okay because he understands the Premier League. This is where we are at Manchester United now. You have to go with Premier League proven before you go anywhere else. In my opinion, I've always said it, and I really, really believe it. And I think Liverpool will be interesting, with what they do. And don't forget, Jarvis, if they sell Kwanzaa, which they're going to, and they go for Gay, it's Premier League. He's going to be fine. He's going to fit in, no problem. Nothing's really going to upset their balance. Now, I think Zubimendi could upset Arsenal's balance.
Maybe.
So
maybe. Yeah, we don't know.
Really
we don't
know. Yeah, it's really, really interesting to see.
I think it could be the Rodri signing that Arsenal need to be more dominant in midfield.
Yeah, but it took Rodri how long? He didn't hit the ground running, did he, Rodri? It took him a good 12 months to really find his feet in the Premier League. And now look at him. I mean, fucking hell. He's probably the best holding midfielder in the world, isn't he? Rodri. Let's be honest. He's absolutely superb. And so for me, it's a kind of, apparently Kwanzaa's here we go. So for me, it's a kind of, I don't think we're going to have that bad a season this season. I really don't.
Nah, well, but it doesn't, going back to the original debate when it comes to the INEOS cases model and how they think they are going to turn things around. Maybe they are doing it the wrong way. I think they're gambling really hard, and I think Wendy is on point with her comments because I big up Wendy. She says they are looking to sell the club in 3 to 4 years and get a 12 billion valuation. A 2 or 3 billion stadium and cutting costs are ways to get that valuation. And she also, this comment is to me and say, you keep thinking that INEOS and the Glazers are interested in being competitive. I have to be honest, I don't think they are. I've said this a lot of times.
You've got to be competitive, though. We have to be competitive. Otherwise, we're not going to reach that 12 billion valuation. It just won't happen. And the thing is, right, the interesting thing about all of this, we've done nothing for, okay, we've been in 5 finals in 5 years. We've won a few trophies, but literally we've done nothing league-wise properly since Ollie finished second. And Jose Mourinho finished second.
A stable team, at least.
Yeah. Hey, Vicky, darling. So I don't see how... I don't see really whether this cost cutting is really going to damage us anyway, because we've done fuck all in terms of the league size, for the last 10 years. So it'd be really interesting to see what happens. I want us to really do something this season. I really, really, really do. I want us to do something.
Talking about predictions for the season, the Supercomputer predicted the Premier League table came out. I found this the other day, and predicted table is Liverpool first, Arsenal second, City third. If you go a little bit down, you see Man United in 9th, and they predict 54.4 points. And I said 55 points the other day, and this is the Supercomputer going through all that. So maybe the Supercomputer is here.
I said 66, and Cass said 68, didn't he? So, but what's the interesting thing about that is then that they're suggesting, the Supercomputer is suggesting that the league and the mediocre teams that have been, like the Bournemouth and Palace and Brighton and Forest, are going to have exactly the same season as this year. I don't see that. No. I don't see Bournemouth being as strong. I don't see Palace being as strong, and I don't see Forest as being as strong. I see Forest. They're a brilliant striker. That Jesus is absolutely brilliant. And I don't see Tottenham.
Unless they can recreate former success with bringing in the right type of players, because they have taken into account that when they do good, they will have to sell the best players.
Yeah. I mean,
as the Brighton model.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Palace sell Guehi, are they going to be in 10th? I doubt it. Who are they going to bring in?
Well, apparently they're bringing in what's his name, Diaz from the Sporting centre back.
Yeah. I know. The African guy. Yeah, I know you mean. You've got Brighton, might sell Matomo, brilliant player for them. Matomo, brilliant player. Forest will trim their squad. I just don't see it, but also it suggests that nobody's going to run away with it this year. So they're saying then that Liverpool, with all what they've done, are going to. What did Liverpool finish on? 79 points or something like that this season. They're going to get less points. I don't buy it.
Yeah. If you want to look at the bottom of the table, Sunderland is going down, Burnley and Leeds, but there's nothing
new there.
Ordinary. And you see Wolves, West Ham, Everton struggling, Fulham even. I believe Fulham is a better team. I think they will.
I think Fulham will be higher up than that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, but I think ninth is probably spot on. 9th, 8th, 8th
I think we finish higher. I think we finish higher. Top 6. I think we finish 6th. I'll be really surprised if we don't kick on this season. And it's unlike me to be that optimistic, Jarvis. I'm normally pessimistic, as you know. But
yeah. There is some news about Paul Pogba. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but we can do a couple of minutes about Paul Pogba. So this is the latest, came out from Fabrizio Romano right before we went live, that Monaco are closing in on a deal to sign Paul Pogba as a free agent. Here we go soon. So that's a new thing from Fabrizio. Here we go soon. Final details being sorted out, then deal with the French midfield back in action after a long ban. 2-year contract ready as revealed last week. Almost there. So what's your thoughts on Paul Dibbity Dab Dab Pogba?
I think he'll fit into Monaco brilliantly. I think he likes that kind of lifestyle. I think it suits him. I think it'll be exceptionally laid back, and I think he'll retire at Monaco. Good luck to the guy. Good luck to the guy. He's paid his dues. He's paid his dues, hasn't he? So good luck to the guy. Yeah, good luck to the guy.
It's true. And also this picture came out on Instagram. It's Paul Pogba, Lenny Yoro, and Kobe Mainu.
What's he doing? He's got my trainers on. He's got my running trainers on, Jarvis. Have a word, will you? Gee, what's he doing wearing my shoes? Bloody hell, you can't pull those off, Pogba. Crikey.
Are you comfortable with Paul Pogba hanging around our players, Lenny Yoro and Kobe Mainu?
I think it's a completely different animal now, to be honest. I think he's learned one hell of a lesson. And I think he's probably, yeah. They look like they're training though, which is the good thing for me. They're in a training environment. I like the fact that both Yoro and Maino are in a training environment. Pogba's trying to get fit. It could work out quite well for us.
Yeah. I don't have much. Yeah, one more topic before the. Yeah, there's some links about Alvaro Fernandez. He's ready to go to Real Madrid.
Yes.
And there's some links with Mount. Apparently, Man United are willing to sell him if the right offer comes along. And the Pogba Monaco thing, but I don't want to spend any time on these three. It's nothing news. The only thing I want to talk about is Jadon Sancho. There's been some talks about Jadon Sancho now, and apparently this came out tonight. Napoli's sporting director Giovanni Manna comes in on Jadon Sancho. He say, our offer is clear. We will not pay Sancho's required salary. So will it happen then? Or is it just...
He's going to end up staying with us, or we're going to ship him out on loan. Or either way, we're going to have to cover 50% of his salary, I think. I don't think he'll get sold. I think he'll end up seeing out the last year of his contract with us, and then we'll just fuck him off on a free.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in him, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I never wanted him in the first place. I just fuck him. I just don't care. I really don't care. He's one of those, I just don't care. I don't care about Rashford. I don't really care about Garnacho. I don't care about these imbeciles and these idiots.
I just want to get rid. That's just
he's got to go. And his problem is that he's going to end up playing Championship football and League One, and he's never going to get his money. Just fucking retire. Just retire. Get out of the game. You can't be bothered. Get Nicholas Jackson in. That's all I want.
Yes, Nicholas Jackson.
Did the Daily Jackson. Show the Daily Jackson.
What's the Daily Jackson?
That's on your WhatsApp.
Is it my WhatsApp?
Yeah, I sent you the Daily Jackson on WhatsApp.
Yes, but I don't have it in pictures to show you, but we can read it out.
We can read it out.
Maybe you can read it, Stu.
Let me read out the Daily Jackson. The Daily Jackson is, and Jarvis was absolutely beside himself, apoplectic. He's so upset. But the Daily Jackson is, as far as Chelsea are concerned, Nicholas Jackson is not for sale. How bad is that? They want a squad with two. Let me just clear my throat for this part. They want a squad with two world-class, I just do not, number 9s with Delap and Jackson.
So
those players are going to get game time. There is interest in Jackson from the Saudi League and Europe, including, no, he didn't say including Manchester United, but, tenuous links with Manchester United, we'll say. We'll add that little bit. We'll improvise a little bit in that one. But as far as Chelsea are concerned, he's going nowhere. He signed a contract at Chelsea until 2033. So any offer would have to be a big offer. So all of you desperate for Nicholas Jackson, I am so sorry. Hand on heart, it's a no-no. I apologise about that.
All we needed was Nico Jackson to come in and score the goals and get us some.
Yeah, sorry, Jarvis is quite close to him now. So Jarvis talks to Jackson on every other day. He's reaching out to him in the States, and he did say to Jarvis, "I want to be called Nico, not Nicholas, please."
Yeah.
So, sorry, Nico Jackson.
Nico Jackson.
I know, Catherine.
Disclaimer: we're just joking. You don't want.
There she goes. She's even better with this one. D-crap, world class. My ass. Absolutely superb.
Stu, do you want to do a quick Q&A at the end? We have a couple of 2-3
We've got a couple of questions. Yeah. We'll do a very, very short Q&A.
And by the way, I don't know how many likes we are on, but guys, girls,
well, I'll have a look. Yes, please.
Please.
We'll start with Vicky's question, if you like. Vicky says to you, Jarvis, do Manchester United have the funds to replace the likes of Lindelof and Eriksen? She has doubts. I would agree with that.
I think we are replacing them with youth. I think it's Fredriksson that replaces Lindelof, and I believe it's probably Collier that replaces Eriksen, or Seko Kune if he comes.
Kone, I think, yeah.
I believe that's the only viable solution, because I don't think we have any money to replace them, Wiki. But it's a good question, and no one has mentioned this, what to do with Lindelof and Eriksen, because they represent something that we don't have in this squad, and that's
experience.
Experience, yes. Thank you. And we don't have a lot of experience in this squad. We have Onana, we have Maguire, Casemiro, but it's not much to rely on, especially when the tough gets going. You need experienced players.
And the going gets tough.
Gets going.
And the going gets tough. I'm such a child. Vixter, my darling, the wifey. I hope that answers your question. And Rushmano's got one as well. McTominay's influence is helping Napoli push for Sancho. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Push for Sancho. With hopes of convincing him to make the move. Sancho would be sold for under 20 million this summer. Okay, I didn't know that. It's a rounding yes for me. It's a rounding, Mr. Sancho, just F off. Because we are piss bored of you. We're piss bored of your circus. You could have been playing World Club Cup at this point in time with either Chelsea or Dortmund if you pulled your number out. But Dortmund have got the money. They've gone and played 30 minutes for JB. JB popped one in the other day. Yeah, and playing well. Quick quiz for you guys, though. I believe in tournament football, and I could be wrong here, but I do believe that Borussia Dortmund are the first club in history to wear two shirts with two different sponsors on. Evonik and Vodafone. The white kit was Vodafone, and their blue and the yellow one was Evonik, or whatever their original sponsor is. So just a little bit of trivia for you there, guys. That's all we've got question-wise, guys. But we are going to be obviously back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Monday night with and we obviously we have a much larger Q&A section. We are also Jarvis. Actually, do you want to mention about the Cass?
Yeah. By the way, Cass has been rating us a lot of times lately, like 2-3 times, giving us like 300 new viewers, just like that. And I would love for you guys to help me to repay some credit to Cass. So while we end the show after the short outro, you will be redirected to Cass's channel. He's live now, I believe. I'm just gonna check, and I just want you to go in there and type
Tactical Devils
raid. And,
yes, please.
I just want to give Cass some credit. Cass is a great guy helping out.
We get a lot of help with Cass, don't we? And Nuruddin. Actually, Nuruddin's channel show today, Jarvis, is brilliant, and I was a bit annoyed he's beat us to the punch. But him and Saeed did a show about, do you like modernism? What do you like about the modern game? Do you like the modern game and stuff like that? It's right up our street, that is, pal, isn't it?
It is.
But anyway, we could talk. So what was your question, Vixter? Oh, yes, Jarvis. I think, yes. Are you worried about experienced team players with the weight of the badge? Oh, that's a good question again.
Okay, we have to reschedule. We can't go to Cass's channel because he's rescheduled his show for tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Okay.
2 a.m. 2
p.m. 2 p.m.
So the only one that's live right now is the Flying Pig, but I know you love the Flying Pig, so let's go and do a small raid on the Flying Pig.
Raid him. Vicky, are you worried about experienced team players with the weight of the badge? Absolutely. That's always a worry for me. And Jarvis has made that point, about players coming in, and our club's littered with it, hasn't it? Saber Veron would be the first to admit we didn't see the best out of him. He'd be the first to admit it, wouldn't he? Players in the past, Gary Birtles scored goals for fun at Nottingham Forest. Didn't really see the best of him. There are a lot of players that haven't come into. Neil Webb at Forest didn't really deliver for us. Matic, I know we took him later on in his career, but didn't really set the world alight. So there has been some great players, and there is always a worry that any new player that comes in can't really, how experienced is, can't take the weight of the badge. But if you sign for Manchester United, you've got to take the weight of the badge. You have to. You can't wilt. And we've seen too many players wilting at the minute, in my humble opinion. But Vic, two brilliant questions, my darling. Great questions.
Thank you, Wiki. Stu, I just want to run something with you before we end the show. I was thinking the other day.
It's not that, is it, Jarvis?
No, it's this one.
Have I got the finger pointing right? Have I got the?
No, it's not. It's not the Nicholas Jackson thing. It's.
I thought I got the pose right.
I was thinking of a possible starting 11 after this transfer window, and let's say if we sign, because this is how I would like to see, but don't be hung up in the name. Just think of the profiles.
Yeah.
Because what I've did here is, okay, we have Mbeumo and Cunha. We know that. But what I think we lack is runners, and the only runners we have in this formation would be Mbeumo, and I would really love for us to sign Semenyo and just play him as left wing back. And
yeah, he's going to go to Tottenham.
And then that would be the ideal, but someone who can run. Then we would have 2 runners, 2 creative players in Ahmad and Cunha. We have 1 deep playing playmaker and 1 guy to swoop it up. 2 ball playing wide center backs. The problem with this formation is the Ligt, because when we build out from the back, it's expected that this guy, the Ligt, is going into midfield and Bruno will push a little bit higher. So he needs to be more secure on the ball. He might do it, but I don't think he's the right fit. And also Semi Lamens as the goalkeeper, young goalkeeper, rather than Onana. So this is just my thoughts so far.
I like it. I would have De Ligt in there, but I wouldn't have him as a playmaking centre half. That's the reason I would have Polina in. That's the whole reason I'd take Polina in. And his heat map demonstrated where he would fit into my master plan. Love the idea of Semenyo. Really do. Love it.
Well, yeah, but it's maybe out of the picture. It's just
no. You're right. I'd love the idea, but you know me, pal. I'd have Gyökeres in there anyway, all day long. You know that. I've mentioned it on so many times, so I like that. Lamon's got no issues there. Ivor, I'm sure it was Ivor's asked us a couple of times about Chevalier again. Are we interested in Chevalier? I have seen him and he looks a really good keeper. I've got no problem with Martinez, though. As you all know, I've got no issue with him. But I like the Semenyo. If we could get Semenyo,
£40 million for a 33-year-old.
I think that's a bit
expensive, high wages, maybe 200k a week. It's a big no for me.
I don't know whether that's a made-up price tag. I think it's 20 to 25 mil deal. If you could get him for 25 mil, I think it's a deal.
Okay. Okay.
I think a 40 is steep. I wouldn't pay 40 million for him, pal.
No.
Let me put it that way. I just wouldn't. The only one I would challenge that with is Sells. I think he had a great season. I really, really think he had a great season. Whether he could do it,
even he is 33. So
yeah, whether he could do it in the
no
with the
resale
shirts,
value when it comes to a goalkeeper like him.
whether he could do it though, Jarvis, in the shirt Manchester United is a different story, isn't it? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We've seen how many keepers have we seen come in and fail? It takes a special goalkeeper to be a Manchester United goalkeeper, a special keeper. You know,
but Sene Lammens is the guy for me. I think I
know you've raved about him. Yeah, no, I agree. But
if we can sign Oblak, obviously, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
But I think, you know, Tolu up front. Look, I think that's probably got more. It's definitely got more legs than that Moise Kean. I mean, I just, like I say, I think to me that's no good. I think Savic is signing for. Is it Lazio? He's going to Italy, isn't he, Savic?
Yeah,
He's
I think that's
he's playing in Italy, isn't he? So
and Van der Sar, he was the best.
Yeah, well, Schmeichel. It's always been Schmeichel for me. You know that. I'm a Schmeichel guy, but Van der Sar. But there's only a handful: Schmeichel, Van der Sar, David De Gea. Anyone in between that I've missed? Apart from our reserve keeper, the Argentinian
Romero.
Yeah. Romero. I think he handled the weight of the United jersey brilliantly, didn't he? Goalkeepers that have failed. Good old Valdez. Fucking hell. I bet you people have forgotten we had Valdez. And your very, very good old friend, Massimo Taibbi.
Oh, Taibbi. Oh, he was something.
We always disagree on VDS.
I think it was something good with him. Less Sealy.
Les Sealy, yes. Dennis the Menace looks like a cartoon character. But,
Bartes,
the Reds, Eli Bartes, Stepney. Stepney was a hell of a keeper.
Big up Johnny.
Yeah. Johnny Kay is in the house.
Yes, Alex
Johnny Kay is in the house.
Well, I don't have any more news. We will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. as usual. Jarvis's Corner. If there's any interest for you guys to come on, you know, maybe we can do a little call in the last 30 minutes of the show. But can you just write me in the comments after the show and tell me if you want to come on or not? I'm not doing a call in if no one comes on. You know, that's just sad.
This is unacceptable, Johnny Kay. I know driving and listening is okay, but you should be watching. You should have pulled over and watched. Bloody driving home. What's going on? Johnny Kay. Legend, as always, mate. Great to have you.
Yes. And I just want to say thank you to Johnny K, Fred the Red Wizard, Witterbird, Wiki coming in, Jarle Malmin, brilliant comments as always. Catherine, no nonsense, McDade.
Yes, Catherine, no nonsense, McDade. Yes. Love that.
Danny B, stories here. Ivor Lee with a lot of comments. Rushmano, the legend. All of you guys, so many people. Wootinator, one of our best moderators, pushing for that for those likes. Yeah. Hands free.
Ridwan.
Yeah, Ridwan.
Johnny K, careful. Brilliant.
Gotta be careful. Don't watch your phone and drive. You know, it's insane.
There's 542 of you watching, which is phenomenal. I think we may have been slightly raided by somebody. I don't know if there's been a raid going on, but it's jumped up just a few minutes ago, just a few seconds ago. So if we have been raided, thank you by whoever raided us. Let us know. Johnny Commodes, he was careful. Rushmano, everybody who's tuned in tonight and got involved. It's been absolutely brilliant as always. We love
it's a never a foul raid. Yes,
it's never a foul raid. Thank you.
Then we can do 5 more minutes for the new arrivals just to say hi.
Yes.
We can do a quick Q&A. So if you guys have any questions for us, we have been covering the Moise Kean thing. Alvaro Fernandez, Rashford, Anthony, talking about Mbeumo, Richard Ríos, links, Garnacho, Instagram pictures, Paul Pogba to Monaco, Sancho, the Napoli wages, a lot of talking points. So if you have any questions, bring them in, and we will try to answer as many as possible in the next 5 minutes before we end the show. So that would be fantastic.
Here's one for you.
Thank you, Cass and Never a Foul.
Thank you, Charles. Yes.
Yeah.
If we don't, Never a Foul was on, we should have looked at that rather than Cass himself and then done the raid. Yeah. Oh, but we know next time. Wizards come in. Do you guys trust? Who do you guys trust to bring in more signings? I think is what he's asking. That's the difference between winning and losing. It's trust. Absolutely. It's always an issue. I don't think our scouting has been up to scratch at all for the last 10, 12 years. People used to always have a go at Martin Ferguson being head scout. It was like jobs for the family. But he was an exceptional scout, and he had an exceptional scouting team and network, and that's why we were so successful for a long, long time. Fergie's always been quite open that scouting wasn't his bag. That's why he had Martin to do it, and our scouting just recently has been very, very, very substandard, and our player development has been good to a level, but it hasn't taken us over the edge like it did do back in the 90s. So that is a very, very good and intelligent question, and it's so difficult to answer, Wizard, really, with any certainty. But I would agree with you. I think trust, and whether Wilcox holds the key or Vivell, who we're holding high hopes in, aren't we, Jarvis, holds the key to that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But great question. I mean, I love the question. It's a really good question.
Yeah. We have other questions. Does Onana have a goalkeeping coach, lads? Yes, we have a goalkeeping coach. It's Jorge Vital. I think he was appointed as part of the Ruben Amorim coaching staff. So I think he's our goalkeeping coach at the moment. Jorge Vidal, I think that's his name.
Right, 60, isn't he? 62.
He's an old man. He's an old
man.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, a lot of experience. Yeah. I don't know what he coached. Maybe, Jarvis, we've now realised that because he can't probably move like he used to, the goalkeeping coach, that's why Onana stays on his line. Because old Jorge can't move as quickly as he can, but who knows?
I think that's an issue.
Yeah. Vicky says, Rashford or Sancho. If you're asking us to pick between the two, it's Rashford. If you're asking us to be honest, it's none.
Yeah, if I was forced, I would go for Rashford, 100%. Sancho is a man baby in my eyes. Yeah, so immature.
Ooh, Ronaldo or Messi? Ronaldo for me all day long. I think he's a more complete player. Scores more headers than Messi.
Well, I would say Maradona.
I was going to say, you can't say Messi. You can't say Messi. You can't say Maradona. You can't say Maradona. She's not asking you. Catherine.
I have Ronaldo here. He's on my
Can you add Maradona to that, and then Jarvis will be a lot happier. Lovely question, that one. Let's have a quick look. What else have we got? Oh, hold on. They're all coming in thick and thin now.
Pick your best. Beckham over Rooney.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, there's me and you are at it again, aren't we?
I would go for Beckham.
I'm going for Rooney.
I knew you would go for Rooney. I knew it.
That's why I chose Beckham. Yeah, I'm going for Rooney. I'm going for Rooney for a multitude of reasons, but the fact of it is I liked his attitude. When he got angry, he was brilliant. Absolutely amazing.
When you talked about young Rooney, when he went into that anger management course, he stopped being the Rooney we knew. I thought it was much better when he had that fire inside, the aggression.
Lethal. At times, absolutely.
But I think Beckham had a better career all over.
Massively difficult question, that, Vic.
When you think of it, he played for Real Madrid, PSG, he went to the US.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But it's
I'm going Rooney. I look, but there's no better crosser in world football than Beckham, in my opinion. But yeah. Johnny K says Vital is a better keeper than Onana. Get him in now. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know too much about Vital, Johnny. Maybe you could give us a bit more insight on him, pal. Fred's.
No, it's the goalkeeping coach, Jorge Vital.
Oh, Jorge Vital. Yeah, he
probably
is. Yeah, he probably is. Yeah, it wasn't. I'm tired now, Johnny. We had a pre-season tonight, Johnny, the first time, and I'm shattered. Anyway, Fred, Q&A. If bringing back a player to help coach the United way into the players, again, great question. Who do you bring back? Who gets the job? Rooney, Kean. You're missing one, Fred the Reds, MEFC News, Robson.
He had to go in Middlesbrough, and it didn't went well.
No. He's not talking about coaching. He's talking about the United way, not football coaching. He's talking about the United way. Right. So for me, it's Robson all day long, Fred. Sorry, I know he's not in there, pal, but for me, it's Robbo.
Okay.
Jarvis is thinking about this one. I can see his brain going.
Ex-Man United player, but it has to be an intelligent player who actually knows the club, not just floating on his talent, but he has to really know. It has to be one of the homegrown players from the academy. I was thinking of Ryan Giggs, but maybe it's too controversial.
I thought you were going to go Paul McShane.
Paul McGrath.
He liked to pint. He did.
Let me just pick one. Dennis Irwin.
Great choice. Great choice. Yeah. Really good question, by the way, Fred. I like that question. Don't know what this is. Not about to get lonely. At least, guys, when you're in the show, it's okay. United's giving me thank you very much for that, Bernard. That's great. Tune in tomorrow night, pal, because we are back. We are
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Wendy, INEOS, I didn't trust anything they say, especially from that rat. Jim, if we get this summer and next summer right, then we could be challenging. It's just me. Absolutely Vutinating. You've got to think that way, pal. You have to think that way. We do have a question from Thomas.
Big up, Thomas.
Big up. What does the club have to do, in your opinion, to properly show they back Amorim and ambitions, and in what time span? A lovely question. Good question again.
Well, first of all, we got to back him properly. We got to give him the players he wants, and not option D, E, and F. They need to give him option A or B.
Keep going, and then we must do that. Sweetheart.
Oh, let's do Thomas first, and then we do the
question. We'll leave that up, Vic, and then we'll do Thomas's question, and then we'll do that.
So, what has the club have to do, in your opinion, to properly show they back Amorim and the ambitions, and in what time span? Okay, so we have two years left on his contract, so it's not a long build when it comes to Amorim. In my mind, he needs to prove himself this season, and probably get more backing in the next summer transfer window, because it can't be done in one window. So, but they need to give him the players he wants, and as I mentioned before, Man United needs specialized players. We need specialized wide centre backs. We need specialized wing backs. We need specialized number 10, as we are about to achieve right now with Mbeumo and Cunha. We need a proper number 9, and I would probably say we need a destroyer in midfield like Palhinha that we are linked to on a loan, but in the long run we need another one coming in to replace Casemiro full time, because Palhinha is also an older player, and I would say in time working on replacing Bruno too, and I think that will be a tough one, but that's what we have to do, but that will cost money.
Great answer, Thomas. That's answered your question. Brilliant answer. Super Jarvis.
Yes.
So, Vicky, I'm going to apologise for this woeful. Go on, Jarvis. Give it a go. Give it a blow. Oh wow! You got a new one.
Just need to remove myself a little bit from the mic.
That was tremendous. Another, again, a great question as well. Best player to retire.
Uh,
I'm going to go with Cantona.
Cantona.
Yeah, Cantona. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you for the question. Thank you, Wiki.
Wendy, really difficult question to answer this. Wendy says, with the African Cup in January, how many players will United be gone for a month? I'm going to go out on a limb here, Jarvis, and I'm going to say it depends where we are at the turn of the year.
Is it 2026? AFCON 26. It's starting. Okay, so the first games is actually starting.
Doesn't it start December this year?
December, yeah, December 25.
Because of the World Cup, isn't it? Yeah. I think it could determine where we are in the league. And if we've got players that are vital to the campaign that are challenging, you might see some withdrawals from the African Cup.
So the group stage is the last game of the group stage is 31st of December.
December, yeah. Isn't that? Yeah, and we haven't got a Boxing Day. There's no Boxing Day fixtures this year as well, is there? So it's a good question, but difficult to put a number on it. But I think it'll determine where we are in the league.
And the final is 18th of January. So we're talking about 20th December to about 20th of January. Yeah. So it's only a month.
It'd be interesting because Mbeumo could be there, couldn't he? So it could be interesting. Here's another great question. Thanks, Wendy, for that. Wizard, Maradona or Zico? Maradona.
I
love Zico. Yeah. Oh, Maradona or Pele. Catherine says Maradona or Pele. Maradona.
Yeah.
He's absolutely fantastic player, Maradona. We've still got a few questions to go. There's Stephanie.
Cantona for me. That's the only because I think Roy Keane is so bitter on Ferguson of what happened, the way he was forced out of the club, and everything he says as a pundit. Yeah, he's funny, but he's lost a little bit of respect from me.
I'm struggling with that one. I spent my youth as a centre midfielder. Paul Hinton, Roy Keane, I used to love. I'm going to go with Cantona because I think he was the catalyst for everything that Sir Alex achieved. So I'm going to go with Cantona. Very, very good question, though, Steph. Oh dear.
Yeah. Last question.
Sir Matt or Sir Alex?
I would say Sir Matt.
I'm going to have to go with Sir Matt because he absolutely rebuilt Manchester United. I'm going to have to go, and I think Fred. I think Sir Alex would say Sir Matt as well.
Yeah,
I really do. Yeah. For me, Catherine,
not taking away anything from Sir Alex.
No, we're not. No.
But something special, because of Munich and everything that happened.
Yeah. Got to be patriotic on this one, Catherine, and it is Bobby Moore for me rather than the Kaiser. Got to be Bobby Moore. You can have a different version.
Beckenbauer for me.
Oh no! Oh, I knew you'd say that. I knew it. Yeah. Last one, and then we're done.
Beckenbauer, he won the World Cup.
He did
with Germany, West Germany, 1990 as a manager. So it puts him a step higher.
But Bobby Moore also beat him.
Yeah.
In '66.
Yeah, but as a player, not as a.
I'm just
manager.
Jarvis, I'm just.
Both. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No. Bobby Moore for me. I'm patriotic. So. He wouldn't be a bad addition, Justin Kluivert. I think he showed a lot of consistency this year. So yeah, he wouldn't be a bad addition at all. But I don't think it's achievable for us.
No.
Gentlemen, ladies.
Yeah. That was the last.
I can't believe this 2 hours has flown by yet again. Questions have been brilliant. The interaction again has been top draw, absolutely top draw. So big thank you from my side of the panel. and I will hand you back over to the main man, the beating heart that is Sir Jarvis Cocker.
Thank you, Stu, and thank you. Thank you to the Stephanie. Thank you, great show, everyone. I think we are on 67 likes. It's a little bit low. I would love for you,
and all of you to
get us up to an 80, maybe 85. So if you haven't, please smash the like. Do us a favor. 68 likes according to the Bootinator. Thank you, Bootinator. But please take a little 10 seconds of your life. Open your phone, press that thumbs up, and do us a favor. It really helps us with the algorithms. We are a growing channel, starting and trying to do our best to get out there and get YouTube to push us out to as many as possible. And yeah, that's just my final words for the night. It's been a brilliant show. We have 1,110 subs. So if you're new and want to see more, subscribe to the channel. We will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. with Jarvis's Corner. And it's been a great show. Now you will be redirected to Flying Pig HD, and go in there, type in the live comments, Tactical Devils Raid. It will really, really help me to pay back Flying Pig for all the help he is giving me. He's always helping me push Tactical Devils channel. So thank you, everybody. It's been a great show. Go to the Flying Pig. Tell them the Tactical Devils Raid. It's been a great stream. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.